Today, I'm talking to Mason and Tracy. They are both using the carnivore diet for its health benefits and to improve their lives on a day-by-day basis. Let's get into it. Okay, so Mason and Tracy, thank you for joining me. Tell us about your journey into carnivore.
Well, it was really kind of a stumbling into it deal. Um, the Back in 21, we just got out of a pretty bad living situation, and in the process of being there, we were there for a couple of years. In fact, we both gained a whole lot of weight. We're eating terribly, and I just started trying to eat better according to what they all tell you you're supposed to do. Now, eat less, move more, kind of deal. Try to eat a little less sugar, and for the most part, I did that for we think probably about 6 months, probably about that, and I did see a lot of good progress, but aside from just losing weight, I really wasn't health wise. I wasn't really improving. I still had a lot of back pain and knee pain and a lot of trouble sleeping, and kept going with that kind of deal. I started mostly eating once a day, and that helped a lot too. Really accelerated the weight loss for sure. I started out when I first started doing that. I didn't have a scale that could actually read my weight. I don't know exactly how heavy I had gotten, but the scale that we had available would go up to 400 pounds, and it would say error when I stepped on it. So I did end up getting a scale after about 2 months into losing weight. I got a scale that could go up to 500, 450 or 500, one of the two. And by the time I got the scale, I know I had lost a good amount of weight. And it said I was 424, if I remember correctly, at that point. So that was very disheartening and encouraging at the same time.
And sorry, just to jump in, you at this stage you were eating one meal a day, but was it effectively
It was not
carnivore?
carnivore.
No.
No, it was not. It was more carnivore than I probably had done before, but there was still a lot of breads involved. Um, Pasta has always been my favorite, especially spaghetti. And so we had that once in a while, but for the most part, I had dropped to one meal a day, eating a lot of meat. But unfortunately, a lot of it was processed meat, like hot dogs and bologna. It's something quick and easy I could eat after work. And about September of 21, is that right? We moved into here. September 21. Yeah, moved into where we're at now, and uh, kind of fell off the wagon a little bit on my eating plan. And at that point, when we moved in here, I was down to about 370 roughly, and kind of fell off the eating plan a bit and just started doing what I had been doing before. And I got back up to almost 390. Started doing some digging around online for, I suppose, healthy solutions for weight loss kind of deal. And my mom actually is the one that came across the carnivore videos first. I think the first ones we came across were Dr. Ken Berry's. He just made a whole lot of sense. So we started trying it. We dove in with 2 solid weeks of nothing but meat, and we're very surprised at how much better we all felt. That was about 8 or 9 months ago in that area. Yeah. About 8 or 9 months ago. We did that pretty consistently for about a month. We stayed pretty consistent with just eating meat, eggs, dairy, real dairy. Then fell off of that for a little bit. We didn't completely go back to our old eating habits, but weren't near as strict, and started noticing some issues cropping back up. My back started hurting some again, my knees, and I don't know, about 2 months of just kind of sort of being carnivore. We tried hard to get back on track, and we're still trying to get back on track all the way. But it's been 2, 3. What month is this? This is May. So back in March, we started. I guess you'd call it making a plan forward to cut things out, and we're still not quite there yet, but we're working on it. I still got to get rid of the rest of my flavored coffee creamer.
Okay. So, I mean, at this stage, I mean, what is a day of eating like for you at the moment?
It varies. Sometimes, I mean, most of the time, I still eat once a day. Occasionally, I'll have lunch while out at work, but most of the time, we still just eat once a day, and it could be eggs and sausage, or big old pile of bacon, or ground beef and eggs, big old pork chops. Yeah, farm fresh eggs. We've got a lot of chickens. We have added some onions and garlic here lately for the antioxidants, trying to help detox a little bit. But that's pretty much it. We're pretty much pork chops, tenderloin, brisket, not brisket, spare ribs, and a lot of eggs, a whole lot of eggs. I love eggs.
What is the change you've seen in your weight? Have you gone below 370?
Oh, yes, yes. I haven't weighed in the last couple of weeks, but last time I stepped on the scale, I was 344.
What has that meant for you mentioned the back pain and knee pain. What has that meant for back pain and knee pain? Have they cleared up or is it receding?
My knees almost never hurt anymore, and occasionally my upper middle back will still give me a little difficulty, but nothing like it used to. Yeah, that's right. Our oldest daughter, she's 17 now, but a few years back she was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and they had her on some thyroid medicine,
Levothyroxine,
levothyroxine.
124 milligrams.
Um, yeah, and it it was, according to their charts, it was controlling the issue, but she couldn't lose weight and was steadily gaining weight. Going carnivore, even though we're not completely there yet, it's helped to the point where she's been able to stop her medication and is finally starting to lose some weight and get back to something she's comfortable with.
Oh, awesome. On your health, you mentioned back pain and knee pain, but were there any other things you were dealing with, especially when you were, potentially around 500 pounds? Were you like with type 2 diabetes or anything like that?
No, the last blood test I had before we really started working our weight down showed that, I mean, clinically speaking, I was on the edge of pre-diabetic, but not high enough to classify diabetic. Now I know that insulin resistance starts way earlier than what they like to say. So I guess technically I would have been classifiable as type 2 diabetic, but never diagnosed and never given any medication for it. I have also had a rather large leg rash for quite a few years. No doctors ever came out and said what they thought it was, but I would assume, what's that called? Not maybe eczema. What is that? Psoriasis, perhaps. I'm not sure. Either eczema or psoriasis, one of the two. I don't remember the difference, honestly, but just in the last 2 months, it's really started to heal up and it's almost gone, but it's been there literally for 10 years.
You're doing one meal a day, basically eggs, sausage, pork chops, ribs, that kind of thing. Maybe a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of onion and garlic in there. Um, I mean that seems like a to me seems like a pretty good way of eating. Um, how are things medication wise? Were you on any medications before that you've been able to reduce or?
No, I've not been on any prescription medications aside from here and there. I've taken antibiotics for things, but other than that, I've never let a doctor give me anything long term. My mom's been a nurse for over 30 years. She's always warned us of the disastrous long term side effects of lots of different types of medications. So whenever a doctor has told me, looks like you need something for this, I tried to find a medical or an herbal alternative.
How, Tracy, you're doing the same as Mason? You're eating pretty much the same way as Mason now?
Yes.
Okay.
So
And
she's not feeling real great at the moment.
okay, no worries. Okay. So maybe if Tracy's not feeling so good, maybe Mason, you can help answer the questions that I wanted to ask her. And it's basically like,
Sure.
how has Tracy going since she's been eating this way?
Yeah, definitely a lot more energy and clearer thinking, not so foggy headed. Yeah, and she had a lot of back pain and hip pain, knee pain, ankle pain. Those are all a lot better. Her left ankle still tends to swell up quite a bit, um, but the right used to do it almost as bad, and that one almost never swells now.
Right.
Lymphedema, I guess is what they call it. Yeah. So
Mm.
Caused by a childhood accident.
yeah, for her ankles, that's caused by a childhood accident. She got both her ankles ran over by a hay cart. Didn't break any bones, but it did damage the tissue, so they tend to retain water and swell pretty bad sometimes.
What is the goal for you now? Like where do you see yourself a year from now? Are you kind of going to be more strict carnivore? Do you want to keep doing the one meal a day? What kind of weight do you want to get down to?
I would like to probably be somewhere between 220 and 240. I have not been that light since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
As far as eating, honestly, I just eat whenever I know I'm hungry. So if it's once a day, it's once a day, but sometimes it's twice.
Mm.
As far as continuing in carnivore and being stricter with it, getting stricter with it more than likely, continuing in it definitely.
Are there any other benefits that you see related just to the way you live or what your day is like now compared to what it was before?
As far as for me, changing the eating habits didn't really change much else about lifestyle. Meal prep and things like that's never been a big deal on my radar. I just have made food when I was hungry, so that really didn't change much on my end. Did that change anything for you? Not really. So no, not really any big life shift as far as that goes in that area, but I think in a lot of ways it's simplified meals, just figuring out what meat we want and how exactly we want to prepare it instead of what sides are we going to do and we don't have that. Let's run to the store. So
Mm. How do you go with eating out? If you go out with friends or you go around to your family's place for dinner or something like that, how do you go then?
well, we don't eat out much at all. Never really did beforehand either. Aside from the occasional, we'd go grab a burger somewhere maybe, but and friends are our family. We don't associate with a whole lot of people. So the way I've always looked at it is I have family and I have people that I have acquaintances. So if you get to the point where I call you a friend, you're also family. So
Mm.
it's but as far as like hanging out with people, family or otherwise, just eat the meat and don't make a big deal of it. I mean, if somebody asks, I just tell them,
Mm.
just I'm not eating that stuff anymore.
do friends talk about the like do people say to you, for example, or people at work, they say, wow, you've lost quite a bit of weight, Mason, or anything like that?
Well, I'm an HVAC technician, so I've spent a lot of the days by myself in a work van, going to customers' houses. But on the occasions where we do meet, there's only actually two in the office that have noticed, but that have actually said anything. Whether or not anyone else knows, I don't know. But there's been two specifically that have mentioned that they've noticed I've lost since even working there. I've dropped about 40 pounds since I started working where I'm at now. So there has been a couple of comments from a few people, and only one actually asked how I was managing that. Of course, I told them I went pretty much carnivore. So yeah, if they wanted to know more about it, I told them to look up on YouTube Dr. Ken Berry and what's his name, Dr. Berg, and your channel.
Cheers. So if someone wants to reach out to you, do you have a YouTube or an Instagram or anything like that?
I actually do have a YouTube channel up. It has a single video on it at the moment.
Uh-huh.
I am planning on putting out some more videos. If I can just find a few minutes to put some thoughts together.
So I'll link to that in the description. So thank you very much for joining me today, Mason and Tracy. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.